All right, so I just caught NBA Today on ESPN and Malika Andrews, and the panel had this absolutely incredible segment where they broke down what they believe to be the #1 most important factor that will lead the Golden State Warriors back to championship contention. The crew started off by talking about this quote from Nick Friedel, discussing the opportunity for a team with genuine championship aspirations, led by the league's most respected superstar, and the undeniable truth that nobody on that roster wants to disappoint Steph Curry. That concept right there, according to the NBA Today panel, is driving everything the Warriors are doing this season. Malika wanted to really dig into what she believes is the key factor in Golden State's hot 4-1 start to the season. The analysts said the Warriors have a tough stretch coming up here, kicking off on the road. Bucks, then Pacers, followed by 8 difficult games total. Hopefully, the Warriors end that stretch with a solid winning record. This has been a genuinely fun season so far for Golden State, but there's one particular thing that has stood out to the panel, and it was in that quote about the truth that nobody wants to disappoint Steph Curry. All right, Dub Nation, I gotta pause for just a second because this is important. You know how much I love this team, how much passion I put into every single video breaking down the Warriors. But here's the thing, I can't do this without you. That like button below? That's literally the lifeline of this channel. Every like tells YouTube, show this to more Warriors fans. And honestly, it's what keeps me going, knowing that you value this content. I pour my heart into these breakdowns because I love the Warriors just as much as you do. And when you hit that like, it's like you're saying, we're in this together. So please, from the bottom of my heart, just take 1 second right now and smash that like button. It means everything to me and helps us build the strongest Warriors community on YouTube. Now let's get back to our team. So how does that emotional reality play into this team actually playing better basketball according to the NBA Today breakdown? Well, it's the truth that there is a complete commitment to winning basketball and a commitment to playing as hard as you possibly can at all times for the Golden State Warriors, because Steph Curry is aging and everyone knows it. There's that famous clip that's probably been all over TikTok and Instagram and every social media platform. It's that clip where a reporter asked Steph Curry, "Steph, you look tired. Are you tired?" And Steph responds simply, "I'm getting old." That clip usually goes into an emotional montage about all these aging superstars and their legacy. But when it's specifically the case of Stephen Curry, according to Malika's analysis, it really is the understanding that, hey, we're never going to see a talent exactly like this ever again in NBA history. Sure, we're seeing new generational talents emerge in the league. We're seeing Nikola Jokic put up consistent triple-doubles and shoot three-pointers from the center position like we've never seen before. We're seeing a guy like Victor Wembanyama who's standing at 7'6", with a skill set that rivals Kevin Durant while dominating people physically like Shaq used to. The panel has seen players like that start to emerge as the next generation, but we're never going to see another player that shoots the basketball like Steph Curry does. We just won't ever see that again. And if we do see someone shoot like that, it will be in honor of Wardell Stephen Curry and what he has done for this league over so many years. When you look at this Warriors roster and you look at the ways that younger guys like Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, Quinton Post, and some of the other young players are performing, you can see, according to the analysts, that whenever they make a big play, whenever something happens that tilts the winning factor in Golden State's favor for that particular night, the first instinct from those young players is to look for Steph Curry's reaction. The first instinct is to look at the bench and see Steph Curry sitting there with a towel over his head, clapping and cheering guys on, absolutely overjoyed because he understands that they're getting towards the end of his prime window. The Warriors are having one last major opportunity to win another championship. Although Steph Curry doesn't personally call this year a last dance season, maybe it'll be next year or the year after, there's a reason Al Horford, Andrew Wiggins, and Steph all just signed contract extensions to be with Golden State for a little bit longer. But there is this overarching understanding that people are sort of trying to ignore, The truth is, according to the NBA Today crew, we genuinely don't know how much longer we have prime Steph Curry. And the roster, the franchise, and the entire organization is leaning into that reality perfectly. Malika said she loves the fact that Andrew Wiggins, Buddy Hield, Quinton Post, Al Horford, and Draymond Green are playing their absolute butts off and competing hard every single possession because they all know the clock is ticking. How long am I going to get to play with Stephen Curry? That's the question in the back of everyone's mind. The answer is genuinely uncertain. There were no promises of how many opportunities you're going to get to step on the floor with number 30, a guy who's done things at the NBA level that literally no one has ever done before. A two-time MVP, a four-time NBA champion. That 2022 Finals was one of the most important Finals performances we will ever witness. He's a Finals MVP, and honestly, should be a two-time Finals MVP, according to the panel. Shout out to Andre Iguodala, and we respect what he did against LeBron in that 2015 series, but let's be completely honest. Steph dominated as well, and probably should have won that award. Curry is a guy who has done things on the basketball floor at the highest level that we have truly never seen before. To quote Stephen A. Smith's famous line, "The greatest shooter that God ever created." Sene, and there's this feeling you get when watching Warriors games this season that Steph knows the window is closing, too, according to the panel's observation. There's a reason Curry is playing with an aggression on the offensive side of the ball, but also on the defensive side that shows he understands. He doesn't know how many more championship runs he has left, so he's going to do absolutely everything he can to take this dream and turn it into reality one more time. The NBA Today crew referenced an analyst's take that if you actually watch Steph Curry's defense closely, it is super clear there has never been a superstar of his age, 36 years old, playing defense at the caliber he's playing, especially at the point guard position. Everyone at every position typically declines significantly in defensive ability by age 37. Not Steph Curry, he's actually gotten better. That's a huge reason why the Warriors can still genuinely contend for a title. Malika would make the argument that Stephen Curry is legitimately a better defender now than he has ever been in his entire career. He's noticeably stronger physically, he looks faster with his lateral quickness, and he's making better defensive decisions with his IQ and positioning. There was a play against James Harden, arguably the greatest offensive isolation talent we've ever seen, where Steph Curry picked his pocket cleanly. The Warriors got out in transition, and they got an easy bucket. Curry is committing to playing off-ball defense, getting steals, and he's averaging stocks, steals plus blocks, at a high level to start this season. This is something the panel thinks has been incredibly underrated throughout Stephen Curry's entire career, his genuine ability to play defense at a high level when locked in and focused. So it's not only the fact that the other Warriors players are having a huge commitment to winning basketball and doing everything they can to make these last couple of seasons for Steph Curry so special, but it's also Steph saying to his teammates, "Hey, you guys carry your load, and I promise you, I will carry mine, both offensively and, as we've seen, defensively as well." The NBA Today panel was really impressed with this team dynamic. The Warriors are in a great position right now at 4-1, and they're now a 51% favorite to win the Pacific Division according to the latest odds. The Clippers are going to be the only team that's really competing with Golden State for that division title. The analysts don't think the Suns and Kings will have great years. Maybe they sneak into the playoffs, but it's unlikely they challenge for the division. And then the Lakers, with all their injury issues to LeBron, and now Anthony Davis, the panel doesn't think LA is going to contend as much as they initially thought they would. So, the Warriors are positioned really well. They just have to find a way to finish strong. Looking at the stats so far from the beginning of the season, there's just been a clear commitment on every side of the ball to get things done. Steph Curry so far is averaging through just 30 minutes per game, which is very manageable workload-wise. If the Warriors can keep Curry at that lower minute total every single night, where he's sitting on the bench for 18 minutes per game, Malika will be overjoyed for the whole season because that keeps Steph fresh. He's putting up 27 points per game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists per game, genuinely playing at an MVP level. Sure, there are other guys averaging 40 points right now like Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Wembanyama, but those numbers will even out as the season progresses. Steph Curry is going to be in that MVP race, according to the panel. He'll be a top 5 MVP candidate this season. Curry is averaging about 2.5 stocks per game, and his fouls and turnovers have been low for the most part. Then he's shooting 50-40-100 splits, 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and he literally hasn't missed a free throw so far through 5 games, which is absolutely insane. The analysts asked, is there actually a legitimate chance we see an entire season of Steph Curry where he doesn't miss a single free throw? Curry is about a 91% free throw shooter for his career, and you start to wonder, since we're through 5 games and he's not really shooting that many free throws per game, is there a real opportunity we witness an entire 82-game season where Steph doesn't miss one? Unfortunately, because they're discussing this on television, Curry will probably miss a free throw that night against the Milwaukee Bucks, which would be the classic announcer's jinx. But yeah, Malika loves the fact that the Warriors are favored to win the Pacific Division, and she loves that all the guys are playing at such a high level. When you look at the statistical categories, Andrew Wiggins has also been so good. 22 points per game, about 4.5 to 5 rebounds, and assists per game. Defensively, Wiggins has been playing well, and then he's shooting the 3-ball incredibly well. This is Wiggins' best start to his 3-point shooting in his entire career. He's shooting it confidently. Obviously, that's not where the panel ideally wants to see Wiggins operate. They want to see him attacking the paint, being aggressive, shooting mid-ranges, dishing the ball at 5 assists per game. But the NBA Today crew has genuine confidence in Wiggins behind the arc right now when he shoots from out there. They feel good about it every single time. And for the most part, Wiggins has been shooting very well, 80% on corner threes to kick things off. At 29 years old, the analysts have been really impressed with what Wiggins has been able to do. And then Jonathan Kuminga, points per game at 16.2, assists around 3, 5 per game, steals and blocks, nothing too crazy, but he's playing solid defense. His 3-point percentage is hovering around 40%, and if Kuminga can stay in the 40s all season, that would be an incredible boost for the Warriors' spacing. The panel wanted to emphasize rebounding most. Kuminga is averaging 7.5 rebounds per game, which is huge. That is the most important part of Jonathan Kuminga's game, according to the breakdown. When Kuminga is rebounding the ball well, he's playing better overall. When he's rebounding better, the entire team plays better. There is just an aura and an essence to the game that rebounding impacts, especially when Golden State is playing with those small ball lineups. The Warriors need Kuminga to be a guy who's consistently picking up rebounds on both ends of the floor. He has done exactly that to start the season while shooting the 3-ball well. Turnovers need to drop a little bit under the 2.0 mark. The panel doesn't love seeing Kuminga averaging 2.5 turnovers per game, but his overall decision-making has been significantly better than previous seasons. So this is it according to Malika's take. This could genuinely be the championship year for Golden State. In fact, she thinks this is the year based on the way they're playing so far. Undeniably, there is a lot of elite talent in the league this year, and this is going to be the craziest MVP race we've ever witnessed. Shai, Jokic, Giannis, Wembanyama, Steph, Luka, all of them playing at the absolute top of their game with multiple 40-point performances already. But guess what wins out when there's a lot of craziness and chaos towards the end of a season, according to the NBA Today crew? What wins out is age and experience, from the perspective of being battle-tested veteran. Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Al Horford. Those guys have played more meaningful playoff games than just about anybody else in the league. So when Golden State gets to that postseason position, you saw it 3 years ago against the Kings, and you saw it last year against the Rockets. When the Warriors get to elimination game scenarios, playing a younger team in the playoffs, even if it goes to Game 7, if they can get to that point, they find a way to get it done, because they've been there and done that. That championship experience is invaluable. That's one of the main reasons the panel thinks, even though this team is aging, if they can find a way to cross that finish line and get into the playoffs healthy, the Warriors are going to be extremely tough to beat. So that was the full NBA Today breakdown of how the entire Warriors roster playing their hearts out for Steph Curry, because nobody wants to disappoint him in what might be his final championship window, has been the major catalyst for Golden State's impressive 4-1 start to the season.